This is a quick performance installation video for K10209. That's a street rod alt power steering bracket going on a LS engine with a truck balancer or 2010 and later Camaro balancer. We're going to start off by doing some pre-assembly. We're going to take 3 of our longer bolts and install them here where the spot face is here and here. We'll then turn over our plate. So here and here we're going to have the 3/4 inch outside diameter, and down here we'll have the 1 inch outside diameter. Now we're ready to mount the front plate to the engine. We're going to install the plate here on the block and then here and here on the cylinder head. We're just going to lightly screw them in to get them assembled, and then we'll go through a torque sequence and layer step. Leaving these finger tight will allow the rest of the assembly to go together quite nicely. We'll run these down, but like I said, we're going to leave them loose. We're ready to install the back plate, and we'll be going into the cylinder head here and here. Line up the double ear with the double ear here. We have that so that you have a dual bolt pattern. So if you're using a Corvette alternator with its overrunning clutch or a truck, they have 2 different bolt patterns and either one will work there. So we'll get started here by putting in our 2-inch tube there, and then behind that is a spacer tube to get it out from the cylinder head and make the spacing correct. And we'll just repeat that process up here as well. You don't have to load it this way. I just did that so that you can kind of see where they were going in there at the beginning. Okay, we'll run these down to finger tight and get ready for a torque sequence. Before we go through the torque sequence and our plates are still loose here, we're going to install the alternator. That'll be the easiest time to do that. Just slide the 10mm bolt through. As I said, we have a dual bolt pattern here, so we're using our Power Master alternator that we have in-house. So we'll just get this here tightened up with some. Now we're ready to move on. We're ready for a torque sequence, and all of these bolts are 10mm, so we'll be torquing them down to 37 foot-pounds. Here at the beginning, just take a little bit of a load off of the bracket, so we don't have any binding or anything like that. And we'll just go around the horn here and get these tightened up. Then for our alternator here, we'll put our 15mm on the back end of this. And we'll be ready to make a decision about what idler we're going to use. So there's 2 idlers in the kit. One is a grooved idler that would go up here, and one is a smooth idler that will go down here. Now, the grooved idler is if you're running our AC bracket over here, you'll use this one. If you're not using our AC bracket over here, just got the tensioner like we have here, we're going to start off by just showing you how to install this one here. So I'll take my 12mm bolt and slide it in from behind. I do want you to bring it in from behind. Load up our idler mount and the pulley. Capture that with a flange nut, and that's the reason why we're bringing it in from behind. The flange nut gives a nice seat onto this bearing here, so we won't have any galling or any problems like that. This is a 12mm bolt. We're going to torque that down to 50 foot-pounds. We're ready to install the power steering pump. We'll just slide it in here like so. I like to go ahead and do the middle one first. It kind of does a good job of holding it in place while we're getting the other 2 installed. Go ahead and run that all the way down so it holds itself in place there. These are 8mm bolts, so when we're done here with the tightening up, we're going to torque them down to 15 foot-pounds. So for this iteration with not running an AC compressor, this is going to be your belt routing. You want to make sure that's seated down in all the grooves, and we do a good job of calling out belt lengths, but the real important part is to actually come over here and check out the tensioner marks. Let's look at that now. So on this LS3 Camaro tensioner, you'll notice that there's a couple marks here. There's also a pin here that I don't know if you can see or not, but that's actually a maximum stop. So we want something that's in the operating range here, a little bit on the tight side, because as this belt wears, it's going to to stretch and also seat down into the grooves, both of which will effectively make it longer. So if you're using this bracket with our AC bracket on the other side, we'll install the grooved idler here. This will give the belt routing that we need in order to run both of those systems. 12 millimeter bolt, 50 foot-pounds of torque. Next, we're going to install the power steering bracket right here. You can come in from behind and catch the nut like so. And then do the same for the bolted nut right here. And then this is going to allow the reservoir to just snap on right here. The hose goes down through the hole to the hose barb here, so it's going to work as a nice clean way to mount your power steering reservoir, just as an option. We're ready to install the belt. As you can see, we've already got it on here. The belt length will change depending on which alternator you have. If you have a high output large case, it's going to effectively make this move in space up here, making the belt longer. The way we have this belt routed here, and the reason why we like the LS3 Camaro water pump, is this belt actually comes around here, so we're not trapping this, so you don't have to take off the radiator hose in order to do that. So also, if you take a look over here, we use the 8-groove compressor, but there's also a 7-groove with the exact same compressor. If you're using the 8-groove, we're going to run in the middle 6 grooves, but if you have a 7-groove, you're going to use the back 6. Now, we do a great job in the installation instructions calling out a belt length. However, it's going to be most important to actually take a look down here at the tensioner marks to make sure that the belt we have is actually running within spec. Let's take a look at that now. On the arm of the tensioner here, there's an indicator and then 3 marks here as well. We're going to want a belt that's running on the tight side of things because as the belt wears, it's going to stretch. Also, it's going to sit further down into the grooves, both effectively making it longer. So you want to make sure that you have a belt that's tight, but you don't want one that's so tight that it's actually putting stress on the bearings. Once you get everything together and actually run the motor, I want you to observe where the belt is running here on the pulley. We've noticed some variation in these pulleys, and so we actually include a tensioner shim in the kit. If your belt is running all the way on the front here where it looks like maybe even it's running a little bit over, take the tensioner off, add the shim. We want the belt to be running in the center of it. Most of the time we found that it runs perfectly true without it, so we recommend that you do not install it to begin with, but take a look afterwards. Thank you for watching this quick performance installation video. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. You can email us or give us a call. And if you have any cool pictures of your installation, we'd love to see those, put them on our social media, or if they're even good enough, we'd love to put them on the website. Thanks.